Welcome to another instalment of Whiteboard Wednesday, communication tips that are going to help you present and speak up with more confidence and impact. And today's tip is looking at fillers. And the fillers that I'm talking about are filler words. It's a key question that often comes up, and it's how do we get rid of those filler words that creep into our sentences and just lose that credibility and impact that we have when we present. So I'm going to bring in the magic whiteboard just to give some examples of some of the filler words that we might use, and we've all used these at some point or another. Some you might recognize more than others, but let's bring in the magic whiteboard. Seems to be a lot further away at the moment. Okay. Hopefully you can see that and it's not too wonky. So these are some of the examples. The classics are sort of the ums, the ahs, the so. How often do we start a sentence to say, so I'm going to then talk about this, this and this. And I encourage you, if you're into the habit of recording yourself, and I do encourage you to do that if you're not already, listen back to how you start sentences. I guarantee sometimes it will be something like, so, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. Well, da 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 da. Try to start really strong straight into your sentence. Even if it's just, hi everyone, really excited to be here today. I'm going to be taking you through this. So trying to get rid of them. Getting rid is quite strong. I'd say that puts quite a lot of pressure on us, but trying to reduce them so we're making as much impact as possible. Others you might recognize, like, you know, kind of. And these might not be sort of the filler words between sentences. These might just be words that come up during our presentations that we don't realize we say so often. I often say, does that make sense? You know, do you know what I mean? And I had to kind of work quite hard to stop that coming in all the time. So is my one. I mean, you'll listen to that if you look back at some of my videos. That's a big one that I need to work on. Okay, and when we think we're kind of going from one sentence to another and we just say, and da la 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 la, this is what we do. So how do we start trying to get rid of these, or at least reduce them, so we're making more impactful communication? And my first tip is just to try to replace them with a short pause. So when you are saying a sentence, try to consciously pause after that sentence before going into your next point. Now this takes a lot of practice. It doesn't necessarily come naturally straight away, but pauses are great to reduce filler words. So when you feel that you might use one of those filler words, just give yourself a pause and a breathing space before you launch into your next sentence. Put that into practice and see how much impact that might make for you. And as I say, it's not about getting rid of them completely, because we don't want to come across too robotic. We still want it to be quite natural, but put in some pauses as much as you can. The other thing to say about those pauses is that they might feel a lot longer than your audience really recognizes them. When we pause in our presentations, it feels like a lifetime sometimes. It's almost like a silence that we don't want to have. And that's why we have these filler words, because we feel the silence, or we're nervous and we talk and talk and talk and just try and get to the end. Whereas if we can start to slow down our pace, put some pauses in, not to the point where it's uncomfortable, but just putting this technique into play, you'll notice that your filler words slowly come down. And it does take practice as well. So that's the biggest tip for today in terms of reducing and trying to get rid of those filler words. Slow your pace down a little bit and put some pauses in between your sentences. It will just help to start to reduce them, and hopefully you'll notice that difference. I'd love your thoughts on this one, and if it is something that you've tried, but that's the Whiteboard Wednesday communication tip today, looking at our fillers and how to reduce those to make as much impact as possible when we're presenting. If you found this video useful, check out even more ways to upgrade your impact by subscribing to my YouTube channel.